also interesting because any breed can be, can be handled in junior showmanship. Like here we have a
Yeah.
couple of beagles and a couple of Shetland sheepdogs, so we have a couple of breeds that apparently are popular choices.
Yeah. And breeds that make outstanding family pets, in addition to being quality show dogs. Outstanding job by one of our younger juniors who made it to this stage today.
Yeah, so those different classes that I was talking about earlier, I mentioned that we have junior, intermediate, and senior, and those are based on ages. So the youngest competitors, 9 to 11 years of age, will compete in the junior category. 12 to 14-year-olds will compete in the intermediate category, and then 15 until 17 years old will compete in the senior category up until the day you turn 18, and then you age out, as most people would refer to it.
Marvelous job moving in lockstep with the dog. Junior handler with a white bull terrier. Tail hasn't stopped.
Once we get through Best Junior Handler here, we'll have all 7 groups and Best in Show for the rest of the afternoon. Kelly, like you mentioned, yesterday was the first day of all breed shows here in Dallas, and things are already off and running, and we'll talk a little bit about that, see if any of the winners from yesterday can repeat today.
Junior showmanship is the prologue to our all breed show. As you mentioned, we will have all 7 groups and best in shows. Part of the Lone Star State Classic today, our first day of back-to-back days, bringing you action from Dallas, Texas. The rundown for today, we'll start with the non-sporting group and the Terriers, the herding group, the toy group, the working group, the Hounds, and we will finish with the sporting group before Best in Show.
Just getting these junior showmanship class winners lined up the way she wants them and making sure there's a little bit of space on this diagonal map for our final class winner to show off her dog.
Bill, did you find as a junior, was it helpful to work with different breeds and dogs of different sizes and temperaments, or did you typically focus on one or two breeds?
Most will just focus on a breed, right? Just whatever, their breed is, the dog that they have. Until very recently, juniors had to be the owner of a dog, so you were limited in that capacity. Um, so most juniors would just have, generally a breed, maybe a secondary breed that they focus on. When I was growing up, um, we happened to have a few different breeds, and so kind of dabbled with a few different ones in junior showmanship, which I thought was kind of fun, but still sort
Yeah.
of focused on, one or two primarily. All right, so one final look here. Liz Bianchi is the junior showmanship judge today, and she will select, like we said, best junior handler, and then there's also a reserve best junior handler, Kelly. So once she selects best junior handler, the competitor who is second place in that class gets to come back in and compete for reserve.
You notice the judge, even though she is judging the handlers and not the dog, she's still going through her motions the way she would if this was a group ring, the way she's analyzing the dogs walking from the head of the line to the tail.
All right, and there she has selected her best junior handler, and that is the young lady there with her whippet, Eleanor Hyped. Congratulations, best junior handler today, local here to Dallas, Texas. She got her dog Maddie when Maddie was 8 months old, and said she'd never been on a leash or off the farm, so she's done all of this amazing training herself. Won the open senior class today, so the youngster who was second in the open senior class here gets to come in and just compete quickly for reserve.
And one more ribbon to hand out for the juniors.
And there you go. So reserve best junior handler is Alexandria Watson and her miniature bull terrier from the novice intermediate class. So a nice way to kick off the afternoon here with our junior handlers and the judging of best junior handler there. And so we will quickly get things reset here in the big group ring to kick off our group judging for the rest of the afternoon.
That's right. As our juniors clear the ring, we will do a reset. And when we come right back, it's the Greater Collin Kennel Club All Breed Show, part of the Lone Star State Classic. We'll begin with the non-sporting dogs next on AKC TV. We've already handed out 2 ribbons today to our best junior handler and reserve junior handler. And now time for the main event as we kick off the Greater Collin Club All Breed Show, part of the 4-day-long Lone Star State Classic here in Dallas. Kelly O'Donnell and Bill Ellis with you, 7 groups on our way to Best in Show. And Bill, first into the ring, our breed winners from the non-sporting group.
Yeah, Kelly, I'm going to say that this is the most eclectic group that we're going to see throughout our afternoon here. The non-sporting group is a diverse collection of breeds, and unlike the other groups, these breeds don't really share very much in common beyond their sort of companionship roles. When the AKC was created and founded, breeds were classified as either sporting or non-sporting, and the other groups have since been formed. And so the non-sporting group is a bit of a catch-all for the other breeds, but we're going to get started here right away with the standard poodle. Our judge, Angela Pickett, going right to work there, going over the largest poodle variety that we are going to meet today. We have poodles in 3 different sizes: standard, miniature, and toy. The standard is the largest, but aside from size, they're all exactly the same breed. And we know that these poodles definitely originated as water retrievers, and that clip that we see, Kelly, we talk about it all the time. Very functional. The hair was clipped off so they could move easily through the water, but left on the joints and the vital organs for warmth.
And if you want to name a poodle Hercules, make sure you have a standard poodle, one of the bigger poodles. Of course, this is Hercules, 3 years old, from Norman, Oklahoma. One of the top standard poodles on the owner-handled series in the country this year and last year as well.
Next up is the Dalmatian. Of course, those spots so recognizable on this breed, named for the coast of Dalmatia, along the shores of Croatia. But we don't really know much about the history or the origins of this breed other than that, but sure have made themselves well known with so many different historical and pop culture references as firehouse dogs, carriage dogs running alongside the carriage, and some very popular movies along the way.
That's right. Walt Disney certainly did his part in raising the profile of the Dalmatian.
He sure did.
101 Dalmatians came out in 1961.
Some other great breeds featured in that wonderful movie as well. Here is the Xolo Itzcuintli, an ancient breed from Mexico. You can see here, if you look closely, the Xolo Itzcuintli is hairless. They do come in a coated variety as well. And they also come in 3 different sizes, Kelly. All the sizes are shown together. But this is the largest, the standard size Xolo Itzcuintli.
This is the number 1 female Xolo Itzcuintli in the country. This is Nina, 2 years old, from Puerto Rico. Coming from San Juan, Nina, we're told, loves to swim in the ocean.
A good thing to love if you come from an island country like Puerto Rico. Right. There's a nice look there at the Chinese Shar-Pei and a beautiful up-close look at some of the details of this breed, like that loose skin that forms those wrinkles and that great hippopotamus-looking head and face. Makes this breed so distinctive, and they are an ancient Chinese breed. Also one of the 2 breeds that has to have a solid blue-black tongue along with the Chow Chow.
Bill, it was a Chinese Shar-Pei that went Group 1 in the non-sporting group yesterday on our first of 4 all-breed shows here in Dallas. That was a female Chinese Shar-Pei. This is a male, Woody. It's his name from his register name, Woodford Reserve.
Oh, well, there's a name I can really get behind, Kelly.
And I recommend the tour if you ever make it to the distillery along the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky.
You know, we were fortunate enough to go to the Kentucky Derby this year, and Woodford Reserve is certainly a prominent fixture at that event.
Yes, it is.
Here is the Tibetan Terrier, another ancient breed in this non-sporting group. The Tibetan Terrier originated in that mountainous region of Tibet, and because they had to traverse that mountainous terrain, they have a very unique shape to their foot. They have a rounder, flat foot that sort of mimics the way a snowshoe would work. Also known for that shaggy coat that helps keep them both warm and cool and protected in that mountainous region.
This is the 3rd-ranked Tibetan Terrier in the country, Taboo, from Argyle, Texas. Does have a best in show on the resume.
Next up is the American Eskimo dog. One of the Spitz type breeds, and we see Spitz type breeds across a number of different groups. The classification for this type of breed, where they have this dense double coat, those prick ears, a tail that curls over the back, usually originating from areas of the world with colder climates. The American Eskimo dog is actually not an American breed. They're known as Eskies. They're short, but they actually trace back to German Spitz-type dogs that were brought to this country, and because they have this real sparkling personality and they
Hmm,
respond so well to training, it made them popular choices for as circus performers. So in the 1930s in this country, you could find groups of American Eskimo dogs performing in the circus.
that's right. They have been in this country for a while. Brought to the U.S. by European immigrants in the 19th century, but the breed didn't earn its AKC recognition until 1995.
And here is the miniature poodle, second poodle of the day, and the second poodle here in the non-sporting group. Exactly the same breed that we saw with the standard poodle. The only difference is that the miniature poodle is always between 10 and 15 inches tall.
Meet Velvet. She's 3 years old from San Antonio. Velvet loves to show off her toys. She's a sharer, so if you're nearby, she'll walk up and drop a toy in your lap.
Is your dog a lover of toys, Kelly?
Absolutely. Loves them until he destroys them.
Yeah, see, we're very fortunate in that. Well, depends on how you look at it. Our dog does not destroy toys because he's a Labrador. He likes to just hold them in his mouth, right? He's a
Right.
retriever, so it kind of has that constant have to have it in my mouth, have to retrieve something. Never destroys them, which means that we just continue to collect them, and they never seem to leave my house until I demand that we throw some out.
Right. No, we have a large toy budget because they're replenished quite often.
It's a good problem to have either way
Yeah.
as we meet the Bichon Frise here, known for that white powder puff coat. The Bichon Frise originated in the Mediterranean area. They're small but quite sturdy underneath that beautiful white powder puff coat, Kelly, and of course have those dark, sparkling eyes, tons of personality.
And Max got his week started with a Group 3 yesterday. Not only is Max the number one Bichon Frise in the country, but currently ranked 6th among all non-sporting dogs in the U.S.
And this should be a very recognizable breed to most folks. The ever popular Bulldog. Lots of history with this breed. And of course, one of the more popular mascots in the world of sports and colleges and universities and high schools, even you name it. There's a Bulldog mascot near you, I'm sure.
Yep.
They're this large, they should have wide set shoulders set on the side, big, broad chest, and of course, that signature face and mug, Kelly.
I mentioned that Max the Bichon finished Group 3 yesterday. This is one of the two dogs to finish ahead of Max. Treasure, the Bulldog, who was 7 years old. She's from Orlando. And Bill, some people might say that dog looks familiar. Yeah, Treasure was the number one Bulldog in the country in 2022. Recently came out of retirement.
Well, good for her. Kelly had, I suspect, some puppies along the way there, looking really great as we meet the French Bulldog, a breed that has become so popular as a companion. They're this great, small, compact size, but they're sturdily built. They have those large, bat-like ears that give them that really distinctive look, full of charm. You know, it's a playful, fun breed. They love to be with their family. They're super adaptable, right? So whether you live in an urban setting or you have more space, this breed can really be comfortable in just about any setting until it gets too hot. They're definitely for the air conditioning, for sure.
And now we've seen 3 consecutive dogs that placed in group yesterday, from the Bichon Frise to the Bulldog, and now this Frenchie won Group 4 yesterday. This is Sassy, best of breed at Westminster last year, multiple best in show winner, and currently the number one French Bulldog in the country.
Going to meet the Skipper Key up next here in the non-sporting group as we work our way through some of the smaller breeds. Schipperke actually translates to little captain in Flemish. And that's because this breed was a very popular companion on the canal boats. They were good little guard dogs on those canal boats. And they should have a very distinctive look because they have this kind of thick-set body, fox-like head, always that solid black color, very distinctive pattern to their coat, Kelly.
Yeah, this is Loki, 3 years old from Belton, Texas. Tony Laszlo, the handler. Loki loves chasing squirrels. Okay, that's a common trait for many of these dogs. Loki also loves to chase dragonflies. Not as common.
I don't know that I've ever had a dog who desired to chase dragonflies, but
That's a different one, yeah.
I certainly believe it. Here is the Tibetan Spaniel. This is another ancient breed originating in the region of Tibet. These little Tibetan Spaniels have existed for thousands of years, and they hold a very important position in Tibetan culture. They were often little lookout dogs, Kelly. They would be perched up on the monastery walls and kind of act as lookouts over the valleys and the courtyards and alert folks if they felt they needed to be aware of something.
Or also sent as gifts to neighboring rulers.
And one of the breeds that was fully developed in this country feels appropriate for this July 4th weekend as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of America is the Boston Terrier, probably the most appropriate breed, not only an all-American breed, but being developed in the Boston city. Breed is known for their charming, kind of gentleman-like personality, always a combination of those dark markings with the white markings that give them that tuxedo look.
Minnie is only a year and a half old, also from here in Texas, the Midland area. Currently the #1 female Boston Terrier in the country. Already 7 best and specialty wins.
And Minnie, the Boston Terrier, there was our final competitor here in the non-sporting group, our first group of the afternoon. So Angela Pickett having a look at everybody lined up and just asking the whole group to make one lap around the ring so she can just get another quick look at them on the move while she sorts through these dogs and see who caught her eye and who her winner might be. And for a weekend like this, Kelly, it's quite likely that these group judges will have judged these dogs previously at the breed level, especially over the course of multiple days. So highly likely that she will have judged some of these dogs in the breed earlier today or perhaps yesterday. She won't judge the breed or the same group more than once over the weekend. She may be very familiar with some of these. And she goes right to the Bichon Frise there, pulls him out for first. Asking the French Bulldog to come out there for second, the Bulldog for third, and the Tibetan Terrier for fourth, excuse me. So that is it. Kelly Max, the Bichon Frise, does a little bit better today, winning the non-sporting group. Going to get to move on to Best in Show, one of our spots. 6 more groups to go before we get to Best in Show. We will step away here for just a brief moment and be back with the Terrier group on the other side in just a moment.
What's that, French Bulldog second, Bulldog third? Yep. The number one Bichon Frise in the country is the first dog to punch its ticket to Best in Show. We'll see Max a little bit later from the Dallas Market Hall here in Dallas, Texas. But first, we have our breed winners from the Terrier group next into our championship ring.
Most of these breeds that we see in the Terrier group, Kelly, developed or originated across the British Isles, save for a few exceptions. And they were developed to hunt and eliminate vermin. They helped protect the farms. Many of them had to work in very tight, challenging environments, so they were built specifically for that. And also to have this big, bold, tenacious personality. They are quick thinkers. We talk a lot about how they are on the tip of their toes all the time. It's part of their big personalities. And our judge is Roz Kramer. I would certainly describe her as a terrier expert for sure. She knows these breeds so well. As a longtime successful professional handler, also a breeder of terrier breeds. And she's going to start here with the Airedale Terrier, the largest of the terrier breeds. And because they're the largest, we often call them the king of terriers as well. They get their name because they were developed near the Aire River in Yorkshire, England.
Color always tan with black or dark grizzle.
And next up is the American Staffordshire Terrier. This breed really combines that kind of classic terrier spirit with the courage of the bulldog breed. They were developed back in the 19th century from bulldog terrier crosses, originally used for farm work, guarding property, and then later just as a great companion. They're wonderful family companions. You can see that constant wagging tail. Have a real affinity for being with the children in their lives as well. More this medium size, but they're stocky, muscular, very strong, and sturdily built.
The breed was originally called the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, but as the breed became established in America, it evolved into a larger, heavier type of dog and was renamed the American Staffordshire Terrier.
And in this terrier group, there are a handful of breeds that were developed in Ireland. The Kerry Blue Terrier is one of them. Get their name for County Kerry, where this breed was developed, that kind of mountainous, rocky area of Ireland. And of course, that blue color. They're actually born very dark, and then their coat lightens to this blue color, have to be blue by the time they're 18 months old.
The breed was first exhibited at dog shows in Ireland in 1916, was imported to America in the 1920s, quickly gained AKC recognition in 1922.
And here is the Bull Terrier. This is the colored Bull Terrier. Such a distinctive look to this breed, especially with their head. They have that egg-shaped head. It's a very gentle convex curve from the tip of their skull, the top of their skull, all the way to the tip of their nose. Should have small, obliquely set eyes. Followed right behind here is the miniature bull terrier. This is exactly the same breed as the larger bull terrier, just this smaller, compact size. And one thing that these bull terrier breeds all have in common is a big, bold personality.
Hmm.
You have to have a great sense of humor if you have a bull terrier or a miniature bull terrier in your life. They are fantastic, but they are clowns and love to find ways to get into some good trouble for sure.
Of course, we always talk about the breed standard because the judge is measuring the dog to that breed standard and how it is able to conform to the standard. But the standard doesn't just describe physical characteristics, there's a description for the temperament as well. And with the miniature bull terrier, the standard says it's full of fire, courageous, and that really sums up the mini bull terrier.
Yeah, and that's true for all of the, breed standards, Kelly. So the wire fox terrier breed standard, for example, we'll talk about temperament, but for these terrier breeds particularly, that's a big part of it. You do
Yeah.
not want to see these terrier breeds, um, being timid at all. You want to see a lot of personality. You want to see them kind of looking around, looking out for the rats or anything else that they need to chase or go after, making sure that we're clear of vermin. That's a big part of evaluating these breeds, Kelly.
Yep.
And you can see here on the Bedlington Terrier, when you look at the Bedlington Terrier from the side and you see their outline, you'll notice kind of the curvature, those gentle curves as their top line kind of rises. And it might look a little bit like some of the sight hounds if you picture a greyhound or a whippet in your mind. And that's because there is some whippet behind the development of the Bedlington Terrier. Even though they have this very sort of delicate appearance with that beautiful coat and beautiful grooming job that these folks do, this is a tough little breed, known particularly for being very speedy and very agile, Kelly.
And this is Monet from Weatherford, Texas. Monet had a memorable trip to Orlando back in December of last year, finished select dog at the 2025 AKC National Championship.
Next up is the Smooth Fox Terrier. And Kelly, here's a dog that has had an amazing year so far. Well,
Yeah.
career really. Wager
Right.
here started off as a young puppy. Montgomery County Kennel Club weekend finished his championship. Last December, he was judged best bred by exhibitor in show at the AKC National Championship with his breeder, owner, and handler, Amy Rutherford. They went on to win the Terrier Group at the Westminster Kennel Club, and so far this year, he's the top-ranked Terrier and number 2 dog among all breeds in the country, just trailing the one Gordon Setter. Amazing record so far.
Went Group 2 yesterday, looking to take the group today. Already more than 25 best in shows just this year for Wager.
Here is the miniature Schnauzer, one of the terrier breeds that was not developed in Germany. Rather, the miniature Schnauzer, or excuse me, in England, the miniature Schnauzer was developed in Germany. We have the standard Schnauzer and the giant Schnauzer, which are shown in the working group. But the miniature Schnauzer here is shown in the terrier group, tried to be this smaller, compact size to help control the vermin and do some farm work, Kelly.
This is Kenzo being shown to us by Manuel Itriago. This is Kenzo's second ever day being shown and is in the spotlight on AKC TV. Pretty cool for Kenzo and Manuel.
It's a great start. Here is the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, named for Staffordshire, England, where this very smart, very trainable breed was developed. like the American Staffordshire Terrier. The Staffordshire Terrier is very strong, muscular, powerfully built. They're full of heart. They bond strongly with their families, have a deep affection for people.
Staffordshire Bull Terrier is among the most popular breeds in England, less common in the U.S.
The Welsh Terrier is up next. You'll notice too, with so many of these terrier breeds, we talk about their coats, Kelly. They have this wiry, coarse textured coat that helped protect them when they were out controlling the vermin or out on the hunt. And these handlers and owners and groomers work really hard to maintain that texture when these dogs are being shown. And they do that by what we call stripping the coat. So they're kind of constantly removing the dead hair and allowing the new coat to come in, as opposed to if you flipped it or scissored it off, it would get much softer. And here's one of our newly recognized breeds, fully recognized breeds. The Teddy Roosevelt Terrier, Kelly, became fully recognized by the AKC January 1st. So their first full year being eligible to compete here in the Terrier group. And next up here is the Scottish Terrier, one of the terrier breeds that was developed in Scotland, very closely related to the Cairn Terrier and the West Highland White Terrier, other terrier breeds that were developed in Scotland.
This is a very accomplished Scotty at just 2.5 years old. As we get a good look at Phoenix from right here in Dallas. #1 Scotty in the country, won her first specialty at just 6 months old, and has taken best in show titles in this country and abroad as well.
And next up in the terrier group is the Russell Terrier. Russell Terriers were bred to be this small, compact size and specifically developed to work out on the fox hunt. They would work along the foxhounds, and when the fox would go to ground, the Russell Terriers would continue after the fox. The small size allowed them to navigate the tighter tunnels and the rocky burrows to follow those fox, Kelly.
And another homage to Woodford Reserve. We had Woody, the Chinese Shar-Pei of the non-sporting group, and this is Woody, the Russell Terrier from Woodford Special Reserve, the registered name, this 2-year-old from Belton, Texas.
Well, we've got a theme today for sure.
Yes.
Here is the American Hairless Terrier. The American Hairless Terrier was developed in this country from the Rat Terrier. They were bred primarily for vermin control, hunting rats and mice, and they worked in both urban settings and rural environments. Really, and their small size really allowed them to flush the vermin from tight spaces very quickly.
And this is Cruz from Italy, not the country, the city in Texas. 3 years old from Italy, Texas. Finished his championship before 9 months old. Now 3 years old with Mary Ann Bryant.
I mentioned the West Highland White Terrier when we saw the Scottish Terrier because they're closely related. Working Terrier breeds from Scotland. The West Highland White Terrier was specifically bred to be this solid white color. They would hunt rats, fox, and other pests. Had to work on those rocky hillsides and around the farm as well, and that solid white coat was chosen so that they could easily be spotted out in the field, Kelly.
Speaking of working around the farm, this Westie is named Style, 4 years old, from Aledo, Texas, and is very prey-driven, we're told by Kelsey Jessup, who is showing us Style. Style loves to hunt for squirrels, rabbits, and mice.
I bet he does. I'm sure he's ready to chase after anything that he thinks he needs to. And we've got just a couple of our smallest terrier breeds left in this terrier group. The Norfolk Terrier is one of the smallest working terrier breeds, known for that big, charming personality. You can see the tail going here on the Norfolk Terrier. Closely related to the Norwich Terrier, who we're going to see in a moment in this group. The Norfolk, even though they're this small size, they're very sturdy, known for that friendly disposition, like I mentioned. And they would often work in teams to cover the farms and the stables, and that small space allowed them to squeeze into, tight holes and go after whatever quarry they needed to, Kelly.
This is Wasabi. You might remember the famous Pekingese named Wasabi, who took Best in Show at Westminster back in 2021. This is the 2-year-old Norfolk named Wasabi from the registered name Some Like It Hot.
And here is the Norwich Terrier. Norwich and Norfolk Terriers that many, many years ago used to come from the same litters, and they were developed into the two distinct breeds that we know today, mostly because the breeders couldn't agree on whether they should have drop ears or prick ears. And so we have two distinct breeds with both. So you can choose what you prefer. You can.
I'm good with both.
That very foxy expression on the Norwich. What's that, Kelly? You agree with?
I said I'm good with both.
Okay. We like having both for sure.
Yeah. And this is the dog that took Group 1 in the Terrier group yesterday. This is Alfie, the #1 Norwich Terrier in the country, a top 10 Terrier dog in the U.S., though originally from Ontario, Canada. 5 years old, recently celebrated his 6th Best in Show win.
And Alfie, the Norwich Terrier, was our final dog here in the Terrier group. So Roz Kramer is having a walk back down to look at each of these Terrier breed winners one more time. They're all lined up for her, and we'll see if any of them caught her eye, if she's got a winner in mind. It's a nice opportunity to kind of see that alert expression and that personality that you want from these terriers when you're walking back down the line.
Can Alfie go back to back, or will it be Wager, the smooth fox terrier? We mentioned one of the top dogs in the country. And there's Wager.
Well, she's going right to Wager, the smooth fox terrier there, pulling him out first, followed by the Kerry Blue Terrier. The Norwich in there for third, and the miniature Schnauzer, Kelly, you mentioned it's this, I believe, the second dog show going in there for fourth, but Wager, the country's top terrier, the beautiful smooth fox terrier, is going to move on to Best in Show. We've got our first two groups behind us. We're going to step away here for a very quick break and have the herding group ready to go in just a moment.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Greater Collin Club All Breed Show, part of the Lone Star State Classic Cluster here in Dallas. We'll have to wait until our seventh group of the day, the sporting group, to find out whether or not America's top dog, River, will represent in Best in Show. But we know we've got the number 2 dog in the country. That's Wager, who just recently won the Terrier group. So we've got a Bichon Frise and a Smooth Fox Terrier already confirmed for Best in Show. Next, Bill.
And here are the breed winners from the herding group, Kelly. And these are the breeds that were bred to gather, move, and control livestock. And they had to do that in all sorts of different terrain and different working conditions. Some of these breeds would have to drive cattle long distances. Some would help guide the flocks and control them along rugged hillsides. Others had to work in large pastures. Emily Fish there is our judge for the herding group. Just having a quick look at the breed winners in this herding group before she gets started. These breeds really continue to excel in the traditional work that they were bred to do. They work on farms and ranches all over the world, but because they're so trainable and so smart, they excel across just about any job you can think of. And here's a great example, the German Shepherd dog, a breed that is ready to do just about anything. They're amazing herders, wonderful family companions. Some of the first guide dogs were German Shepherd dogs. Kelly, this breed is up for just about anything that you can think of.
Yeah. And this is Athena, who is only 7 months old and already oh so close to being a champion, shown to us by Ashley Miller. Athena turned 7 months old just a couple of days ago and won the breed today for a 5-point major and is within a couple of points of her championship.
That's fantastic. Next up is the Beauceron. The Beauceron, one of the herding breeds that was developed in France. They were developed to work with and move large herds of 200 to 300 sheep from field to field, and then also protect them from predators, Kelly, which lent them to eventually doing some military work.
The Tawny is 2 years old from Louisiana. Riley Bernard, the handler.
Here's a great look at the Bouvier de Flandre, covered in that dense, abundant coat. Of course, that big, bushy beard, but underneath that coat, which helped protect the Bouvier from inclement, cold, wet weather when they were working, they are a very robust and strongly built dog underneath all of that coat. They were really true farm utility dogs. They would drive cattle, pull carts, guard the farmyard, help with kind of any general chores. That heavy bone and protective coat really allowed them to work through all sorts of conditions, Kelly.
Already 5 Group 1s for cash this year. 5-year-old from California.
And there is a beautiful look at the collie. 2 collies are shown in the herding group. They're exactly the same breed, but they have 2 different varieties based on their coat types. This is the rough collie. You can see that abundant, beautiful coat on the rough collie and that real signature head and expression. It should be a soft wedge-shaped head and a very soft expression. Not only are they wonderful herding breeds, but collies are really known for their affectionate, easygoing disposition, making them excellent family dogs.
Found along the border of Scotland and England, originally the breed known as the Scotch Collie.
Next up is the Border Collie. another breed that was developed along the border region between England and Scotland. Kelly, like you just mentioned, the Border Collie has an enormous amount of working drive. They're known for their intelligence and their trainability. They have unbelievable herding instincts. And you'll notice when the Border Collie's on the move here, how their head just sort of slightly lowers, they kind of level out. And that mimics the way that they would be moving when they're manipulating and controlling the livestock. So that's something you want to see when judging this breed.
And this is our second dog of the day from San Juan. This is Vintage, 2 years old, from Puerto Rico with Samantha Carlson.
And here is the Bearded Collie, developed in Scotland. The Bearded Collie is covered in that long, shaggy coat. Beautiful to look at when they're groomed so beautifully for the show ring, but very functional. There's a little bit more texture to it than you might think, and it really helps keep the Bearded Collie protected and comfortable from that cold, wet Scottish climate. They're very lean, agile, and muscular underneath all of that coat, Kelly.
And this is James Dean. Registered name is Rebel Without a Cause, and James Dean won Group 1 yesterday. 4 years old, from California. Multiple group winner, and also a reserve Best in Show winner.
And here's a look at the Smooth Collie. So exactly the same breed that we saw a moment ago with the Rough Collie, but the Smooth Collie is essentially what the Rough Collie looks like underneath all of their beautiful coat. Just a shorter, smooth, flat-fitting coat here on the Smooth Collie. You can see that same kind of elegant wedge-shaped head. Smooth Collies were also originally registered as being much larger than Rough Collies, but they two kind of varieties converged and are now judged by the same standard.
Extremely intelligent breed, and one of the most famous. Lassie has something to do with that.
And also in this herding group, we have a few different Belgian herding breeds, all very closely related. The Belgian Sheepdog is the Belgian herding breed with the longer, solid black coat.
This is Justified, 6 years old, from Houston, with Samantha Niemek. Breed winner at the national championship last year. Multiple Group 1s in the career of Justified.
And closely related is another one of the Belgian herding breeds. This is the Belgian Malinois. They have a shorter coat, always that fawn mahogany color, and they have that black mask. This breed excels in herding work, but they are supremely intelligent with an enormous amount of drive, and they've kind of become the preeminent police and military dog, Kelly. They just excel in all of that different work, whether it's detection work or military work.
Yeah, excellent at apprehending suspects. Have the strengths and the smarts to help restrain a potentially dangerous individual.
And here's the Australian Shepherd, a breed that was really developed here in this country, not in Australia. They were bred as stock dogs out in the American West. They had to work very long hours, and they worked in close partnership with their owners and handlers. known for having very quick reactions and this great ability to both gather the livestock and also drive them, move them as needed.
The Australian Shepherd won Group 4 yesterday. The breed, by the way, formerly known as the Spanish Shepherd, New Mexican Shepherd, even the California Shepherd for a while.
And here is a breed that was actually developed in Australia. This is the Australian cattle dog. The Australian cattle dog was really developed and bred to work on the large, vast ranches in the Australian outback. The ranchers needed a breed that would be hardworking, quiet, be able to drive the cattle, and also withstand the heat. So this breed checks all those boxes. They had to move stubborn cattle across very long distances in those harsh conditions, Kelly.
Yeah, Monkey is from Seminole, Oklahoma. Doesn't compete a lot, but with limited showing, Monkey is currently ranked among the top 5 in the breed.
And here's a look at the Shetland sheepdog. It resembles a miniature collie at first, but this is a separate and distinct breed. They were developed from the same original herding stock as the collies, but bred to be this smaller size on the Shetland Islands, which are northeast of Scotland. And bred down to be this smaller size because of the limited resources on those smaller islands. And so they worked on, smaller stock like sheep and also served as an alert little watchdog.
We are in Dallas, so how about them Cowboys? That's the registered name for this Sheltie, who is named Landry. Another nod to one of the all-time great coaches of the Cowboys from Pinehurst, Texas, and Landry went Group 2 yesterday.
$30 since the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, Kelly, but any year now, it's going to be their moment.
There you go. That's right. That's what a Cowboys fan will tell you.
Maybe this season is going to be it as we meet the Puli covered in those amazing cords. This is a Hungarian breed that is known for their nimble and quick action. They're very light on their feet. And that distinctive corded coat really helped protect this Puli not only against weather, but also from predators, because they would work closely with large bucks on the Hungarian plains, not only to help herd them and gather them, but also to protect them.
Puli gained AKC recognition in 1936. Going all the way back to the 17th century, the Puli was bred with newly introduced herding breeds from France and Germany. At that point, it nearly disappeared as a distinct breed. Breeding programs founded in the early 20th century were able to reconstruct this ancient breed.
And the Moody here is another Hungarian herding breed, closely related to the Puli. We have the Puli, the Moody, and the Pumi, all Hungarian herding breeds that are shown in the herding group. But the Moody has some German Spitz breeds in their background, give them this distinctive look. They're compact, versatile, worked on sheep and cattle, served as a watchdog as well.
Cuba is 5 years old from Willis Point, Texas. Susan Kenkel, who was out there in the ring with Cuba, tells us that he is self-taught his natural ability to do a fly ball box turn off the side of the house in the yard.
Well, that is impressive. I don't know how to do fly ball. It's an amazing sport to watch. I have your earplugs close by, but here is the miniature American Shepherd, a more newly developed breed that was developed in California during the 1960s, bred down from the Australian Shepherd to this more compact size. They have the same drive and style as the Australian Shepherd. But this smaller breed works on smaller stock like sheep and goats.
Vision is not quite a year old from Searcy, Arkansas, with Allison Senek.
And here is the Cardigan Welsh Corgi. We have two distinct Corgi breeds that are shown in the herding group. The Cardigan is ever so slightly larger, a little longer in body, a different shape to their ear, have a different shape and build to their front legs, and of course the Cardigan Corgi is the Corgi with the tail. They've been known in the high country of Wales since 1200 BC. Very robust, sturdy little breed, Kelly.
And Mookie is the #1 Cardigan Welsh Corgi in the country. Went Group 3 here in Dallas yesterday. Made the trip here from Boynton Beach, Florida, with Erica Lanassa. Mookie was best of breed at Westminster last year. Also best of breed at the National Championship in Orlando.
And here is the Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Slightly smaller than their Cardigan Welsh Corgi cousins. A little different shape to their ear. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi has greater front legs. Both Corgis are tough little herding breeds. They work as heelers. They would nip the heels of the cattle to drive them while staying low enough to dodge the kicks from the cattle.
This is Stevie. She's named registered name, 2 years old, from Collinsville, Texas.
And here is the Swedish Valhund. Ancient herding breed known for this friendly, energetic, but watchful personality. It's a very old Spitz type breed that's been known since the time of the Vikings. They are powerful cattle herders. Despite this small size, they work on Scandinavian farms. They're very quick movers and would help control and drive the stock with that quick movement and barking.
A woman named Marilyn Fell of Rhode Island is credited with bringing the Swedish Valhund to the U.S. She imported the first 2 Valhunds in 1984. The breed gained its AKC recognition in 2007.
And here is the Canaan dog. It's another ancient breed. The Canaan dog is the dog of the Israelites. And we think they've existed as far back as 2200 BC. But when the Romans dispersed the people of the region, these dogs actually became undomesticated and they lived in the desert and survived there until the 20th century when the people in that region re-domesticated them and the breed was put to work guarding and detecting mines.
The breed's expression is considered watchful and inquisitive. We're seen in this country in 1965.
So Emily Fish there has had a chance to judge each of these breed winners in the herding group individually. Having a quick walk down the line here to look at them all lined up for her again. And she's going to ask them to go around as a group. So one more time on the move for these herding breeds. Important to judge every breed on the move, but particularly for these herding breeds, you want to get a look at them on the move and kind of envision them doing their herding work. Can you picture each of these individual dogs doing the herding work that they were bred to do? Do they move like they would when they would be out there herding or driving livestock?
Will it be James Dean, the bearded collie who went Group 1 yesterday, or someone else? Quite a bit of competition, including some top 10 herding dogs in the country. That includes the Cardigan Welsh Corgi Mookie, the 8th-ranked herding dog in the U.S.
So she's going right to the bearded collie there, Kelly, to repeat from yesterday. The Shetland sheepdog in there for second. The Belgian sheepdog in there for third, and the border collie for fourth. So the bearded collie is going to repeat and get another shot for best in show. We're almost halfway through our group judging here. We're going to step away for a quick break and have the smallest competitors of the day ready to go with the toy group coming up next.
The Lone Star State Classic is a 4th of July weekend tradition. We're here at the Dallas Market Hall in Dallas, Texas, day 2 of 4 days of all breed shows, including 34 breed specialties over the weekend. River the Gordon Center went best in show yesterday. We're working our way toward best in show today. 3 groups down, 4 to go. Next into the ring, our smallest dogs, the winners of the toy breeds.
And these toy breeds, Kelly, were primarily developed just for companionship. They were treasured lap dogs, favorites of royal courts throughout history, and household companions to nobility and esteemed families throughout the world. And they are small in size, but they are big in personality. They are completely unaware of their small stature. A lot of them have very ancient origins. And our judge for the toy group you saw there is Wendy Paquette, breeder of Shih Tzu, some of the best top winning Shih Tzu. And she will start here with the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. This small little toy breed is very sturdily built. They have a lot of the same characteristics as their Spaniel cousins. Favorite of royal courts throughout England, Kelly, known for that kind of constant wagging tail and affectionate personality.
The breed was recognized as the Cavalier King Charles in 1944. The first Cavaliers were seen in the U.S. in 1952.
And here is a look at the Papillon. There's a good look at that really alert expression with those large butterfly-like ears, which is really the hallmark of this breed. The breed actually began in Spain, and they had drop ears, and they were like miniature spaniels, if you will, but by the time they reached France, their ears were upright, almost wing-like, and so that's how they got the name Papillon, which means butterfly in French.
Ryan Livingston showing us Flynn, who went Group 4 yesterday. 4 years old.
And here is the English Toy Spaniel. It's another breed that's shown in a couple of varieties based on their different colors, coat colors. The black and tan color that we see here is known as the King Charles variety because this was King Charles's favorite color of this very popular English breed. Should be very cobby in build, long associated with British royalty and aristocracy, Kelly.
Yeah, and this is Tyrone, registered name, by the way. Bill, you talked about royalty, coronation of a king. Tyrone is 7 years old from Spring, Texas. And Tyrone is also the 10th ranked toy dog in the country.
That beautiful silky textured coat there belongs to the Yorkshire Terrier. That coat, very important when judging this breed, should be silky in texture. You see the judge Wendy Paquette actually pick up the brush of the handler to brush the coat to evaluate the texture. Very common for judges to do that. So it should be silky in texture, but also the color. It should always be the steel blue that we see there with those tan points. The Yorkshire Terrier back in the 19th century used to catch rats for workers in the clothing mills in Yorkshire, England, and the coat was so beautiful that the locals said that the mill workers must have spun their coats in the factories to be that beautiful.
I believe it. This is Presley. She's 3 years old from Washington State. Michelle Schutz. Presley, the #1 Yorkie in the country, won the specialty last year and then repeated as specialty winner again this year. And just went best in show at an all-breed show 3 weeks ago.
Oh, nice. And Cuba's contribution to the toy group comes in the form of the Havanese. Likely that the breed actually originated in the Mediterranean, probably on the island of Malta, and they traveled through Europe, through Spain, Italy specifically, but they found this permanent home in Cuba, and they became very popular on that island, especially among the wealthy there. So they are known as the Cuban breed, and they are happy, friendly, outgoing dogs. Never really met a stranger, never really having a bad day. If you want a guard dog or a watchdog, this is not the breed for you. But if you want a very happy dog that's going to charm you every day, then the Havanese might be for you.
Another breed that auditioned a few names before settling on what we know it as today. Havana Silk Dog, Spanish Silk Poodle, even the Bichon Havanese.
Now look at the Italian Greyhound up next. Truly a small, miniaturized sight hound. They might be small and kind of have this delicate appearance, but like the larger sight hounds, they are very athletic, particularly very good sprinters. Actually originated thousands of years ago in the area that's really known as Greece and Turkey, but during the Renaissance, they were quite popular with Italian noblemen, and that's how they became known by their present name, Kelly.
And this is Dream. She's 4 years old from Albany, Georgia. Nina Klein, the breeder, owner, handler. Dream is the #1 female Italian Greyhound in the country, a multiple Best in Show winner.
Next up is the Chinese Crested. One of the real distinguishing features of this breed is their coat, or lack thereof. The Chinese Crested is hairless. They do have those little puffs of hair on the top of their head, their feet, and their tail. And then they do come in a fully coated variety known as the powder puff variety. Gives them a very unique appearance, Kelly.
Gigi is from Fort Lauderdale, just 2.5 years old. Was placed in group multiple times, but really just starting her campaign.
The Affenpinscher is up next on the table there for Wendy Paquette to go over. Yesterday's toy group winner. The Affenpinscher is this small little toy breed that actually used to work in the stables doing some ratting and vermin control, but eventually made their way into the home, and that is where they stayed as house dogs and companions. Their name actually translates in German to monkey terrier, because if you look at their head and expression up close, Kelly, it has this monkey-like look to it.
It does. This is Ursa. Tax Time, the registered name for this highly decorated, top-ranked Affenpinscher. Multiple Best in Show winner.
And the largest of these small breeds is Pug. Even though they're this small size, they are compactly built and very sturdy. There's a lot of dog in this small little package, and also a lot of big fun personality. They're one of the oldest breeds. Originally bred and treasured in the imperial courts in China, and then made their way to Europe, where the nobility there made this breed very popular, Kelly.
Chanel is 3 years old from California, the #1 female pug. multiple best and specialty winner.
And here is the Shih Tzu. I mentioned this is the breed that Wendy Paquette has had and bred. One of the elegant and aristocratic breeds from China. And one of those Chinese breeds is really treasured by royals for thousands of years. They're known as lion dogs in their native China. Bred strictly to be companions and palace pets. They have that long, flowing coat, but very sturdily built underneath all that coat. Happy little dogs that are happy to be in your lap or have some fun playtime.
Happy, affectionate, lively, outgoing, like so many toy dogs. Depends on human attention.
And here is the Maltese. This is another one of the toy breeds that has a silky textured single coat. The Maltese is always solid white with those dark, sparkling eyes. And another breed where the texture of the coat is very important when evaluating this breed. They are small, affectionate little dogs that bond very strongly with their owners, long associated with nobility and high society in and around the Mediterranean where the breed was developed, Kelly.
Yeah, and this Maltese is from San Jose, Costa Rica. His name is Brightly, 2 years old, the #1 Maltese in the country. Is a reserve Best in Show winner, looking for his first Best in Show.
Next up is a look at the Pomeranian. This is another one of those Spitz type breeds that we've referenced in some of the earlier groups. A small little breed actually descended from larger sled dogs from Iceland and Lapland, and their ancestors were much larger, and they ended up in Germany. And they were bred down smaller and smaller until we got this present very compact little toy dog, known for their big extroverted personality.
Brown is showing us Zhao Zhao, 2.5 years old from Macon, Georgia.
And a breed that we commonly refer to as the king of toys is the miniature pinscher. They are very tough little toy dogs, completely unaware of their small size, known for their bold personalities. Miniature pinschers definitely think they are the biggest guys in the room every time. A very distinctive gait. You can see here that high stepping action with their front leg. Resembles a hackney pony. So we often refer to it as a hackney-like gait, Kelly.
This is Kobe, 3.5 years old from Oklahoma. We're the 4th-ranked min pin in the country. Several group placements, including a Group 2 already this year.
And here is the Manchester Terrier. This breed actually comes in two sizes. They're shown in two different varieties based on their size. And the smaller toy size is shown here in the toy group, while the larger standard size is shown in the Terrier group. Even the toy Manchester Terrier still has a lot of those Terrier qualities. They're ready to go after any of the vermin that they think they need to.
Mm.
Developed in
Shanna's 2 years old
Manchester, England.
from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Bill, we'll often ask handlers and owners of dogs that we see at shows what they like best about their breed, or tell us something that you're so acquainted with the breed that you have that dog in your house every day. Tell us something that we can share with our audience. And what Karen says about the toy Manchester, very playful breed, very hardy for their size. I think that's often a misconception with toy dogs. It's this idea that they're very delicate, and that's not always the case.
No, it's definitely not. Here is the Russian toy. The Russian toy is another ancient toy breed. Their origins are a little obscure. We know they date back to the Russian aristocracy, and they were very popular companions with that Russian aristocracy and nobility. Known for being active and cheerful and have a strong desire to please. They also come in both smooth and long-coated varieties. This is the long coat variety, Kelly.
This is a Whiskey, 3 years old, from Wiley, Texas, with Kelsey Jessup. Currently the 6th ranked Russian toy.
And here is the Chihuahua. This is the smooth coat Chihuahua. We've got the smooth and the long coat Chihuahua that are shown in the toy group. Exactly the same breed, but we've got those two different coat types that make up those two separate varieties. The smallest breeds that we will see at any AKC dog show. But they are fiercely loyal and protective of their families despite that small size, Kelly. Perhaps the biggest personality of any of these small breeds.
This is Cuss. Pardon my French. The registered name, this 3-year-old from High Point, North Carolina, who was the grandson of Sanito, the top winning Chihuahua in the history of the breed.
And our final competitor in the toy group here is the Pekingese. Covered in that thick, abundant coat. Underneath, very sturdily built, robust breed with the Pekingese. It's an interesting build. They're almost, if you were to look down on them, they're almost pear-shaped, much heavier build in front than behind. They hold an honored place in the dog world. Back in ancient times, they were sacred in China, and theft of one was punishable by death, Kelly.
Oh. Well, the Peaks are very devoted to their owners. They can be aloof with strangers, but a dignified breed, loyal, steadfast companions.
All right, so everybody in the toy group here is lined back up for Wendy Paquette. And we will see which one of these toy breeds caught her eye. Will the Affenpinscher repeat again and get another shot at Best in Show, or perhaps another breed winner in this toy group? He is going right to the English Toy Spaniel Tyrone there, followed by the Papillon in there for second. Asking the Affenpinscher to come out for third, and there the Italian Greyhound for fourth. So Kelly, a different toy group winner today. The English Toy Spaniel Tyrone wins the toy group. Going to get to come back and try for best in show a little bit later. We have 3 more groups to go as we work our way toward best in show. We're going to go from the smallest competitors to the largest competitors. The working group is coming up next, and we will be right back.
Earlier this afternoon in the Terrier group, we saw Wager, the Smooth Fox Terrier, improve on yesterday's Group 2, win the group, and advance to Best in Show. Just a few moments ago, it was the English Toy Spaniel Tyrone doing the same thing. Yesterday's runner-up in the group, we will see compete in Best in Show. Still 3 spots available for Best in Show. One of them will go to the winner of the working group.
And these are the largest breeds we're going to see all day, Kelly. These dogs were bred for strength, endurance, intelligence, courage. They had to do all sorts of different jobs to help support mankind. They would pull carts and sleds. They were guard dogs guarding the home and property. They would help patrol territory, aid in rescue work, and even help the fishermen in various capacities. Our judge there is Kimberly Ann Meredith, Alaskan Malamute breeder, but longtime AKC judge of several different groups. And she's going to start, of course, with the largest breed in the working group, and that is the Great Dane. We will never know why this breed became known as the Great Dane because they're not from Denmark, not associated with Denmark. Most definitely a German breed, but nevertheless, they are the Great Dane. They were originally bred in Germany to hunt large game like wild boar. They required courage, size, and power. Of course, now they are really just known for being affectionate, wonderful family companions. Kelly probably trying to crawl in the lap of their owners and convincing them that they are, in fact, smaller than they think they are.
You need to have a sturdy lap to own a Great Dane.
And here's a look at the Rottweiler, another working breed that hails from Germany. There were drover dogs that accompanied the Roman legions across Europe, and those are the ancestors of the modern Rottweiler. The breed became known as butcher's dogs, and they would help guard the money and even drive the cattle, Kelly.
The Rottweiler went Group 2 yesterday behind Rocket the Standard Schnauzer.
And here is the Siberian Husky. Of course, known this breed really as a sled dog, particularly built for speed and endurance. Siberian Huskies work in teams, pulling the sleds. And there's a beautiful look there at the Doberman Pinscher. That head should be a blunt wedge. This is a medium-sized, squarely built working breed, known for their intelligence, trainability.
Doberman was recognized in Germany first. That was in 1900, then seen in America soon after. Took a few decades for the breed to gain popularity, but since that time, prized companion, of course, also a police dog, performance dog, and one of the most competitive show dogs.
This Doberman is Banksy from Mexico City, and his best friend, Kelly, is actually a cat named Dalton.
I love that.
Love comes in all different forms. Another working breed that was developed in Germany here is the Boxer. Squarely built like the Doberman Pinscher. The Boxer really known for that distinctive head and expression. Were used to hunt boar and other large game, but they have this very playful spirit, and that face is very expressive as well when those wrinkles form on their the top of their head.
This Boxer was the American Boxer Club Best of Breed in 2024 and again this year.
And the Kuvas up next, an ancient breed, really associated with Hungary. And they would work in that country as livestock guardians, known not only for their intelligence, but their independence and protective instincts. They were expected to be left out with the livestock and watch over them and protect them, Kelly, with, uh, minimal human interaction.
Yeah. Sarah Krickeberg showed Jorah to a breed win at the national championship last year. Sarah is the breeder, owner, handler. He also won bred by exhibitor at the national championship in Orlando.
This is the Bull Mastiff. Up next, I'll correct myself. There we go. The Bull Mastiff actually developed from the Mastiff and the Bulldog. The breed was developed to work on the large English estates. The gamekeepers there needed a breed that would help discourage the poachers on those large private hunting estates. And so the breed is quick and powerful and very quiet. They became known as the gamekeeper's night dog.
They say it was a combination of 40% Bulldog and 60% Mastiff. If you're wondering what the equation was, the breed was recognized in Britain in 1924, then 10 years later in the U.S.
A beautiful look there at the Dogo Argentino, a very powerful working breed that was developed in Argentina. They are always white. They can have a dark patch around the eye, but they are always this solid white color. They should be balanced and very functional. The head is really the hallmark of the breed. Should be a 1-to-1 ratio. The measurement from the brow bone to the tip of the nose is equal to the brow bone to the occiput, the top of their head.
Ace is in the ring with Dan Reevy. Ace is exclusively owner handled, and this is his hometown show. His breeder co-owner lives in Fort Worth.
And here is the Mastiff. The largest breed in this working group. This breed is enormous and ancient as well. The Mastiff was used to develop many of the other breeds in this working group. They were originally used to fight along the Celtic tribes against the Romans back in 55 BC, and then later used for guarding estates, protecting livestock, and even doing some military work, Kelly.
He's got a face for Hollywood. This is Bradley Cooper. A star is born in the registered name of this 3-year-old from Texas. Several group placements in the career of Bradley Cooper.
That beautiful white coat there belongs to the Samoyed, another one of the Arctic breeds in the working group. And you got a good look there at the head of the Samoyed, particularly that Sammy smile. They have that dark pigment, but the corners of their mouths turn up ever so slightly that give them that kind of appearance as if they're smiling.
This is a multiple best in specialty winning Samoyed. Loves to lounge around the house and be his human's best friend.
Next up is the Bernese Mountain Dog, one of the Swiss mountain breeds, known for their calm, very agreeable temperament. Bernese Mountain Dog was really used kind of as an all-around farm dog. They performed lots of different jobs on the farm. They were draft dogs, guard dogs, always this tri-color pattern, Kelly, where they're primarily black with the tan and the white points that we see there.
Mentioned being a farm dog. Swanky lives on a farm. That's in Granbury, Texas. Swanky is nearing her 1-year birthday. Shown by Ashley Taylor. Tells us when Swanky is not showing, she's running around the farm at their horse operation.
And from Japan, here is the Akita. This breed is so highly revered in their native Japan. They were originally developed to hunt in the snowy mountainous region. They would go after wild boar and bear. And then ownership was actually restricted to the aristocracy in Japan, and there was a special language that was used to talk about and address this breed.
So this Akita was born around Christmas, so you've got to give it a Christmas name of some kind, right? They went with Ralphie, choosing their famous Christmas movie, A Christmas Story, of course.
We love a theme.
Yes.
Here is the St. Bernard, one of the large, massive breeds in this working group, originating in the Swiss Alps, known for their strength and endurance. Breed was used for those life-saving rescue missions in the Swiss Alps that they're known for, Kelly.
Comfy loves spending time at the dog show. She's almost 2 years old, lives here in Texas, and Cherish Pierce tells us that whenever Comfy gets to a dog show, she starts to dance around with joy. She just loves being in the ring.
Dogs love going to the dog show. All this attention, all this love. You get all this time with your people, your owners, your handlers. It's a pretty great day for a dog.
Right.
Here's a look at the giant Schnauzer. So we saw the miniature Schnauzer in the Terrier group. Here is the largest Schnauzer breed, the giant Schnauzer. Bred up from the standard Schnauzer that's also in this group. Originally used to drive cattle to and from markets, but performed a number of different jobs around the home and the farm, and even did some police and military work, Kelly.
Flirt is 5 years old. This is a home game. Lives here in Dallas, Texas. Flirt is a multiple group winner. How about this? She's a handful at home, we're told. She loves to steal household items and take them out to the pasture. But this is what's bizarre. Her favorite thing to steal, their cheese grater.
Oh, gosh. That's a bit random. Hopefully she's careful.
Yeah. At least it's not something he uses often to say the remote control.
Here is the Portuguese water dog on the move here in the working group. Medium-sized working breed that's full of energy, very athletic, muscular, powerfully built. They would work along the coast of Portugal, helping the fishermen there herd fish into nets, retrieve lost gear. They would even help deliver messages in between the boats along the coast in Portugal. And from Italy, here is the Cane Corso, an Italian Mastiff type breed. Powerfully built, heavy boned, muscular, extremely athletic. This breed worked as property guardians, farm workers, and another breed that would hunt that large game like wild boar.
This is Cirrus. She's not yet a year old, from Texas. We're told that she loves dock diving. So I hope Cirrus is tuned in tomorrow. We're probably is going to be in the show ring tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully DVRs the show on ESPN2. Our first ever team diving dog competition.
That's right. Busy day tomorrow, Kelly. We'll be back live streaming here from Dallas, but also on ESPN2 tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern. The AKC Diving Dog Team Challenge is a fantastic show. We're super excited to see it premiere, different format, like you said, with the different teams competing, all celebrating July 4th and the 250th anniversary of this country. Here is a look at the Newfoundland. Large, heavy boned with that heavy coat, has a bit of an oily texture to it as well, which helps the Newfoundland do that water work that they're known for, Kelly.
Yeah, and this is Phineas, 3 years old, originally from Canada. First show as an AKC champion. He went best in show. And the Newfie was Group 4 yesterday.
Next up is the Borbal, which actually translates to farm dog. The breed originated in South Africa as a protector of the homestead. They're strong, balanced, heavy boned. For their size, they're actually quite agile, and they have a large blocky head that makes them very distinct from some of the other Mastiff type breeds.
Sean Frise named Max earlier in the show. This is Max the Borbal from Argyle, Texas. Multiple best in show winner.
And here is the standard Schnauzer. So we've seen the miniature and the giant Schnauzer. Here is the standard Schnauzer, kind of the prototype. The other two breeds were bred down and up from the standard Schnauzer. But this is the original, a multi-purpose farm worker developed in Germany, used for herding, ratting, as a guard dog. They're known for their intelligence and very spirited personality, Kelly.
And you're looking at the dog that went Group 1 yesterday in the working group. Rocket finished ahead of the Rottweiler. He's 4.5 years old, from Houston. 58 group placements in Rocket's career.
And the standard Schnauzer is actually very closely related here to the German Pinscher. You can see kind of a similar size and shape. This is not just a smaller Doberman Pinscher. The German Pinscher is this medium size, another kind of all-purpose farm dog. They're Germany's oldest working breed, traditionally used as ratters in addition to general farm dog work, Kelly.
Breed first came to the U.S. in the late 1970s. And earned AKC recognition in 2003.
All right, so our judge Kim Ann Meredith has had a chance to go over everybody else. She's pulling out the dogs that caught her eye here, going to make a bit of a short list to then select her winners from. All right, so she's got 7 dogs that she has pulled out that are staying in the group. Everybody else is going to leave, which gives her some more space to work with. Got the Rottweiler, Siberian Husky, the Doberman Pinscher, the Boxer, the Giant Schnauzer, the Newfoundland, and the Standard Schnauzer. Just going to have them go around again. Get a look at each of these lovely working dogs that made the cut on the move one more time. There's a nice look at the Rottweiler, followed there by the Siberian Husky. And the Doberman Pinscher. There's the Boxer. And then the Giant Schnauzer. Followed by the Newfoundland. And there's the Standard Schnauzer. She goes right to the Rottweiler there for first, followed by the Boxer. Pulled out the Newfoundland there for third, the Doberman for fourth. Okay, so the Rottweiler wins the working group. Going to get a chance to move on to Best in Show and compete for that top honor a little bit later. Ranger, the winner of the working group. We're almost to Best in Show. We've got the Hound and the sporting group left. We're going to step aside here for a break, get the Hound group ready to go, and be back in just a moment.
Granger is the number 3 working dog in the country and off to Best in Show. Just won the working group. We've got 2 groups left before Best in Show. Already today, we've had 3 dogs that went Group 2 yesterday qualify for Best in Show. Perhaps that's a good omen for Rumor, the Harrier, among the breed winners in the Hound group now entering the ring.
The hound group is really made up of breeds that were developed to hunt game of all sorts of different sizes, from rabbits and fox to larger deer and other predators. They worked primarily by scent or sight, and they have these highly specialized instincts that allow them to track, pursue, and locate the quarry across all sorts of different terrain. And you can see they come in different sizes, shapes, coat types, and that's all based on where they were bred to hunt, the terrain that they had to hunt across, and what they were going after. Our judge, Denise Flame, there have an initial look at the lineup of hounds in this group before she gets started. And we will start here with one of the sight hounds. This is the Afghan hound, traditionally kept in the kennels of Afghan nobility. They hunted game like hare, deer, even leopards across that rugged terrain. You have that beautiful flowing coat, but they also should have prominent hip bones and large feet that help them work and hunt across that difficult terrain, Kelly.
This is the first ever show for Lenny. She's 2 years old from Beaumont, Texas. And her owner tells us that she has bonded very quickly with Samantha Carlson, the handler. The Afghan breed is aloof and can be somewhat skeptical of strangers, but also loves attention. So try and reconcile those two things.
A lot of these sight hounds kind of have that aloofness to their personality. They're not all going to run up and warm up to you like a golden retriever, but they make wonderful loving companions. The greyhound here, of course, is known for their incredible sprinting ability, the fastest of all the breeds. But aside from getting out for a sprint as needed, they're quite happy to be your companion on the couch or the bed, Kelly.
Yeah. Like the hotel bed, for example, which is Flo's favorite part of traveling for dog shows. Loves to curl up on the hotel bed. Flo is 3 years old from Brighton, Tennessee.
Next up is the Rhodesian Ridgeback. Very powerfully built hound breed from southern Africa. They're named for that ridge of hair that grows along their backs. You can kind of see it there. It grows in the opposite direction. They have great endurance, known for their powerful build. They were used to hunt large game, and that included tracking the lion. When they tracked the lion, they would kind of do it as a group and then circle and harass the lion and keep it kind of at bay until the hunter could arrive and kill the lion themselves.
The first breed standard was drafted by South African breeders in 1922. The breed was imported to the U.S. in 1950, gained its AKC recognition 5 years later.
This beautiful sight hound is the Saluki, a Middle Eastern sight hound, really associated with the nomadic desert tribes and the royal households in the Middle East. They were bred to coarse game like gazelle, and they had to do it across vast expanses of open land. So they are incredible sprinters. They just cover so much ground per stride, Kelly.
Yeah. Snickers is being shown by owner-handler Julie Mueller. Snickers is currently the #1 Saluki in the country. And Julie tells us that Snickers is a champion counter surfer.
Another large, powerful hound here is the Scottish Deerhound. This the Irish Wolfhound. Forgive me there. The Irish Wolfhound, also closely related to the Scottish Deerhound, but the Irish Wolfhound was bred in Ireland to hunt very large game, particularly the large wolves in Ireland. So they're this large, powerfully built breed, Kelly, but as companions, they're really wonderful, quiet, calm house dogs.
Yeah, and that's certainly the case with Spirit, unless she wants a treat, and then she can use that left paw pretty aggressively to get what she wants. Spirit's 3 years old and shown by breeder owner handler Donna Yeldel.
This beautiful sight hound up next is the Borzoi. They should be tall and elegant. Borzoi was developed in Russia, originally bred for wolf hunting. The traditional hunts in Russia were very elaborate. The hounds would track and pursue the wolves, pin them down, seize them there until the huntsman arrived, but then they would actually let the wolves go, different than the other breeds in the hound group.
Borzoi makes a wonderful companion, show dog, therapy dog. They also compete in a variety of dog sports, including obedience, agility, lure, coursing, and tracking.
Next up is the black and tan coonhound. Here's one of the scent hound breeds and one of the coonhound breeds. Several breeds in the hound group that were developed specifically to work on raccoon. They have incredible noses. The black and tan coonhound specialized for tracking and treeing the raccoon, Kelly.
Yeah. Rocker is a national specialty winner last year, then repeated that feat again this year. Also won Best of Breed at Westminster last year and again this year. He was 2 years old from Bedford, Iowa.
And probably the most powerful nose among all the scent hounds, all dog breeds probably, is the bloodhound, capable of tracking that scent for miles and miles. The bloodhound has this incredible olfactory system. They have those long ears and loose skin that also help them track the scent. The long ears help funnel the scent up into their nostrils when they drop their head, and the loose skin helps trap the scent so they can track it for as long as needed.
Colt is his owner's first ever show dog, and already he is a multiple group winner. Built by Emma Montague. Colt's favorite food, pizza.
Next up is the Redbone Coonhound, another one of the breeds that was specifically bred to work on a raccoon. They're always this solid red color, an all-American breed developed here in this country, bred to trail and tree the raccoon, and also would do some tracking work on larger game like bear and even cougar, Kelly.
Yeah, that's right. Over the centuries, the breeds were combined to selectively bred for additional stamina and courage, plus the ability to tree, climb, and swim, as you described. That's how we get to the Redbone Coonhound.
There's a nice look there at the treeing Walker Coonhound. Always a tri-colored hound, bred for speed, drive, and this very intense treeing ability.
Yeah.
Bred to trail the game quickly and accurately, Kelly.
Yeah, and this is Karma, 3 years old from here in Texas. The Treeing Walker Coonhound, Bill, just became the official state dog of Kentucky. Literally this year. It just happened.
They did. That's right. Fairly recently.
Yep.
Next up is the Norwegian elk hound. This Scandinavian breed is very powerfully built for their size, muscular, robust. A Spitz type hound that traditionally was used to hunt the large elk and moose in Europe and other large game. And there have been archaeologists doing digs that suggest that this breed has existed for thousands of years.
His name is Roddy, 6 years old, from Bexley, Ohio. Placed in the Hound group at Westminster a couple of years ago.
And here is the Harrier. This is a medium-sized scent hound, kind of a smaller version of the English foxhound, somewhere between the English foxhound and the beagle. And they would hunt in packs, but instead of being kept as one pack on a large estate like the foxhounds were, Harriers were often, you would just own like one Harrier, and then folks would come together with their Harriers to form a pack to go out and hunt with.
And Bill, I alluded to this dog earlier in the group. This is Rumor. She went Group 2 yesterday. Very accomplished show dog from Washington State. 19 Best in Show titles and a top 10 hound dog this year.
Quite the resume. Here's a look at the Whippet. Medium-sized sight hound, developed in England as a smaller, more economical racing and rabbit coursing dog. For this medium size, they are definitely the fastest breed. Incredible sprinters, but as companions, very quiet, calm, wonderful house dogs.
And another dog that placed yesterday. Hayes was Group 3. She's 2 years old, from Sugar Valley, Georgia. And also a top 10 hound dog this year. The Harrier currently ranked 8th in the group. Hayes currently ranked 9th.
And from the island of Sicily, this is the Cernecco dell'Etna. This is a sleek, slender sight hound from Sicily, really found along the base and the slopes of Mount Etna, and built for endurance and agility. They would hunt small game like rabbits in that hot, rocky terrain, Kelly.
AKC recognition in 2015.
And next up is the Basenji. Developed in Central Africa, this is a hound breed that uses both sight, scent, and their keen hearing when they are out on the hunt. They would work with the hunters there to flush out and drive the game into nets, and also help track small animals. And instead of a traditional bark, they make a very different sound, Kelly. They make kind of like a yodel noise.
Callie is from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's 5 years old. Was best of breed at Westminster this year.
And here is the Petite Basset Griffon Vendéen, or PBGV for short, Kelly. French hound breed. They're covered in that rustic, shaggy, protective coat. And this is yesterday's Hound Group winner and Reserve Best in Show winner as well.
That's right. This is Hemi. Top titles not only in this country, but in the UK and Ireland as well. Stellar Mayhem and Madness, the registered name.
We're going to meet two beagles up next, exactly the same breed. They're all beagles, but for the purposes of showing them, they're shown in two different varieties based on their size. And so the first one that we're going to see is the larger of the two beagles. They are 13 to 15 inches when they're measured at their shoulders, so we call them the 15-inch beagle. Developed in England as pack hounds for hunting rabbit and hare.
Elliot is 3 years old and shown to us by this junior handler.
And here is the little beagle, or the 13-inch beagle. Exactly the same breed, just slightly smaller. Both of our beagles with junior handlers, Kelly, as well.
Yeah.
Making great teams.
So we had Elliot, the 15-inch beagle. Now Etta, the 13-inch beagle. Abigail Robinson, a junior handler. Etta, by the way, loves to watch Little House on the Prairie. Etta's owner telling us the breed love with all they have.
I think that's very true for this popular companion breed.
Yeah, Beagle, one of the most popular dogs in the country, ranked 7th based on AKC registration data from last year.
And here is the Basset Hound. Low to the ground, but should be heavy boned. Originally from France, they have those long ears that's similar to the bloodhound and some of the other scent hounds, help funnel the scent up into their nose. Even though they're smaller and not built for speed, they are tenacious workers. They're ready to follow that scent for as long as they need to, Kelly.
Yeah, and this is Bentley, 5 years old with Michael Shepard. National Specialty winner in 2023. Best of breed at the AKC National Championship last year and in 2024. Also, two-time defending breed winner at Westminster.
And here's the Portuguese Padango Pequeno. This small little hound breed is known for their strong hunting instincts, are to hunt small game like rabbit and hare, Kelly, and have that great shaggy tousled appearance.
Quiz is 5 years old from Colorado. The top Portuguese Padango Pequeno in the country.
And now we'll get to meet the Dachshunds in the hound group, one of the smallest breeds in the hound group. The first one here is the long-haired Dachshund. Dachshunds are shown in different varieties based on their coat type. And you can see the long-haired variety here has that longer coat. Dachshunds also come in two different sizes, but the sizes are all shown together. This is a miniature size long-haired Dachshund, Kelly.
Her name is Ali. is just a couple of years old from Red Oak, Texas. Allie's owner telling us that Allie is a big dog in a small package who fills my life with sunshine and laughter.
And here is the smooth dachshund. The only difference here being the short, smooth, glossy coat here on the smooth dachshund. You'll also notice that the smooth dachshund here in the hound group today is a little bit larger than the long-haired dachshund we saw a moment ago, and that's because this is the standard size.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they're all shown together.
Hildy is by far the #1 smooth dachshund in the country. 6 Group 1s this year. All other dogs in the breed have combined for just 2. Hildy was tops in the breed last year as well.
Oh, nice. Well, smooth dachshund there is our final competitor in the hound group today. Our judge, Denise Flame, there, having a look at everybody lined back up for her. Let's see who caught her eye. She's going to ask the dogs that caught her eye to just step back, and they'll be the ones that stay in and make the short list here. And everybody else will leave the ring, so she's got maximum amount of space to continue looking at the hounds that she pulled out in this short list. And they're going to go around again on the move. Get a chance for her to look at each of these dogs on the go.
All 4 dogs that placed in the group yesterday represented here on the short list. Getting River, the BBGB.
And she goes right to the Harrier there for, or excuse me, the Black and Tan Coonhound for first. The Harrier, the Whippet, and the Big Beagle in there for fourth. So the Black and Tan Coonhound Rocker wins the hound group and will be back to compete shortly for Best in Show. We're going to step aside here for a quick break, get ready for the sporting group. Our final group of the day on our way to Best in Show is coming up next, and we will be right back. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.
Happy to have you back at the Dallas Market Hall in Dallas, Texas. Always the venue for the Lone Star State Classic Cluster. 4 days of all-breed shows. This is day 2. It's the Greater Collin Kennel Club All-Breed Show. We'll also bring you the Texas Kennel Club All-Breed Show tomorrow. But today, we've got one group left, and then Best in Show. Bill, we finish with the sporting group.
And these are some of the most popular companion breeds, Kelly, in the sporting group. And that's because these breeds were developed to assist hunters out in the field, and they worked very closely with their humans to help locate, flush, point, and retrieve game. And so because they have that history of working so closely with humans, that's why they've made such popular companions. Dr. Daniel Dowling is the sporting group judge today. A quick look down the line for him. These breeds were really bred for stamina, trainability, and having that very cooperative nature. The setters and pointers in this group are the breeds that mark the game for the hunter. Spaniels flush the game out so that the hunter can shoot it. And we have retrievers that, of course, go and get it. And we're going to start here with sort of one of the quintessential gun dogs, if you will, the pointer. Incredibly athletic breed, noble, known for their extraordinary scenting ability and this signature pose. They freeze in place to indicate to the hunter that they have found the quarry, and they stand frozen at a perfect point for the hunter.
Signature pose, which creates very recognizable silhouettes. This is Atlas, just a year old, from Nebraska with Dennis Brown.
And here is the Gordon setter. Of the setter breeds, they're all distinct different breeds, but the Gordon is the largest in terms of their bone and their substance, and that's because they had to work over the bogs and Scotland and had to work in that kind of more challenging terrain. But a well-deserved bow here for River before he gets going. Kelly with his incredible resume so far this year.
It really is remarkable. Picked up another Best in Show yesterday here in Dallas. Through May 31st, 47 Best in Show titles for River. The only other dog in the country with more than 20 at this point of the season is Wager, the Smooth Fox Terrier, who won the Terrier group earlier today. So, Bill, there is a chance we will see 1 versus 2 head-to-head in Best in Show.
Oh, and there's a beautiful look there at the Weimaraner. A very noble and versatile hunting breed. Bred for tracking large game originally, and then transitioned to being an upland bird dog. They have that distinctive silver gray coat. Should be very athletically built. They have high drive, great endurance, incredibly versatile out in the field, making them popular hunting companions.
Wyatt just celebrated his 2-year birthday the other day with handler David Harper. Began his show career in March. Already has achieved a reserve Best in Show.
Next up is the Irish setter, so leaner in build than the Gordon setter that we saw a few moments ago, bred to hunt across some more diverse terrain in Ireland. They're always this solid red color, known for their very kind of youthful temperament. They sort of stay in that youthful puppy phase for a little longer, Kelly, before they become sort of mature adults.
Yep. crowd ringside here in Dallas. Really enjoying the show. Nice round of applause there.
Next up is the German wire-haired pointer. Also in this group, we have the German short-haired pointer. But the German wire-haired pointer is covered in that coarse, textured, wiry coat. You see the beard and eyebrows there. And that coat helped protect them and so that they could work in some more challenging terrain. They're also a little larger and a little heavier boned than the German short-haired pointer, all so that they could work across that sort of varying terrain.
Tiki just recently earned her first Best in Show. She's 3 years old, from Austin, Texas.
And here is the golden retriever. Of course, known for being such a popular family companion, love to be with their family and their people. So trainable, so smart. Love to be in the water, but excellent retrievers as well. Should have what we call a soft mouth so that they have the ability to, pick up and bring the bird back without damaging it at all.
I see quite a few golden retrievers and Labrador retrievers competing in the AKC Agility Team competition tomorrow on ESPN2 that we mentioned earlier. This golden is Caboose, and quite an accomplishment getting out of breed today. 52 golden retrievers. It was the largest entry.
Here is the wire-haired pointing Griffon. The most notable characteristic of this breed is that medium-length, shaggy, wiry coat. But this breed is often called the supreme gun dog. They excel in upland hunting, pointing, tracking, retrieving. Incredibly versatile, bred to be close working and very cooperative with the hunter while the hunter worked on foot.
A wire-haired pointing Griffon won Group 2 yesterday behind River, the Gordon setter.
And here is the Vizsla. This breed easily recognized for that solid rust color that they always come in. An ancient Hungarian breed, known for their athleticism, but they're a little leaner in build than some of the other sporting breeds, but still supremely athletic, bred to be an all-purpose hunting dog. Kelly, ready to work all day.
Yeah, we've got our eyes on the top Vizsla in the country, Pegasus, who will turn 4 later this month, from California. Multiple group winner, does have a reserve best in show.
And here's the German short-haired pointer. One of the most versatile hunting dogs. They were really developed in Germany to be a multi-purpose gun dog. They were expected not only to point, but also to retrieve, track, even work waterfowl. Gotta love a good stretch and bow before they get going. They are incredibly intelligent, but hard-working, full of energy. They have an enormous amount of drive, Kelly.
This is Toast. No, not that Toast. The registered name is just here for the champagne. 3 years old, from Bryan, Texas. In the top 5 German short-haired pointer in the country.
And here is the English setter. And the English setter was bred to work on very kind of open terrain. And so they should be very elegant in build, very balanced, nothing extreme about this breed. Should be very graceful in motion. Bred to locate and set the game birds. When the setters locate the birds, instead of freezing in place like the pointer does, the setters would set set. They would get very, very low to the ground to indicate where the game was for the hunter, originally so that the hunter could then throw a net over the dogs to catch the bird.
Samantha is just starting her show career. Samantha's owner telling us she's a princess loved by many. 4 years old, lives in Spring, Texas.
Up next is the Brittany, more of a medium-sized sporting breed. Another very versatile breed in this group, named for the Brittany region of France. Compact, agile, not only great pointers, great retrievers as well.
Spitfire is his name, 4 years old, from Minnesota. Spitfire won the breed at Morris and Essex. By the way, the name Spitfire comes from the World War II airplane.
There are a couple of breeds in the sporting group originating in Italy. The Spinone Italiano is one of them. And you'll notice that big bushy beard and that wiry textured coat here on the Spinone, all designed so that they could work in some more challenging terrain. They are one of the oldest pointing breeds, known for that rugged build. They also have a thick skin that helped protect them when they were out on the hunt. They would have to work in very dense brush, marshland, steep terrain, all very challenging environments, Kelly.
Yeah, Leanne Malini was showing us Leon. Tells us he's the sweetest boy ever. He's 7 years old. They live here in Dallas.
Followed right up here with another one of the Italian breeds in the sporting group. This is the Baracco Italiano. This is one of the oldest European pointing breeds. They date back to at least the 4th or 5th century. A good look there. That head should be very distinctive, sculpted. They should have pendulous ears. The rest of their body should be very powerful, known for not only that noble appearance, but this smooth, very efficient movement. When you watch them move, they cover a lot of ground, very smooth, no wasted motion.
Rocco Italiano was recognized by the AKC in 2022 and became the American Kennel Club's 200th fully recognized breed.
And of course, this is the Labrador Retriever. One of the most popular companion breeds. They have that wonderful, lovable temperament. They should have a broad head, dense double coat. That tail should be shaped kind of like an otter tail, thicker at the base, tapering toward the end, help the Labrador when they're in the water.
Ryan Livingston showing us Bear, 3 years old, who was best of breed at Westminster this year.
Here is the English Springer Spaniel. We'll meet some more of the Spaniels as we work our way toward more of these medium-sized and smaller sporting breeds. This is one of the oldest British sporting breeds, known for their energetic nature. Bred as a Flushing Spaniel, the Springer was expected to spring game, and they were expected to do that so that then it could be netted or shot, and then they were expected to retrieve it afterward.
A very outgoing and jolly breed. Representing the breed today is Drama. She's 3 years old from Iowa. Best of opposite at Westminster this year.
The Lagotto Romagnolo is up next in this sporting group, another ancient Italian breed. They originated as a water retriever. They had to work in the marshlands in the Romagna region. And then the marshlands were eventually drained, and the Lagotto transitioned to becoming a truffle hunter. And now they are known as kind of the premier truffle dog in the world, Kelly.
It was an Italian breed club founded to protect and promote the Lagotto Romagnolo and wrote the first breed standard. That was in 1988. Became a member of AKC's foundation stock in 2001 and earned recognition by the American Kennel Club in 2015.
This small spaniel type breed is the Nederlandse Kooikerhondje. It's a smaller Dutch spaniel type breed. They date back to the 16th century, and the breed was used to assist in duck hunting. And they actually used duck decoys. The Quakers would lure the ducks into these man-made decoy traps by trotting and along the shore, waving their tails, kind of getting the birds curious, and then once close enough, the hunter would trigger the trap.
The practice has dwindled quite a bit, but there are still a few working decoy dogs in the Netherlands today.
Here's a beautiful look at the English Cocker Spaniel. Originating in England as part of the Spaniel family, the English Cocker Spaniel was bred to flush and retrieve game birds, particularly specialized to hunt woodcock, hence the name Cocker. They should be compact, cheerful, and athletic, like all of the Spaniel breeds, known for having this very merry temperament, Kelly, and a distinct breed from the Cocker Spaniel that we're also going to see in this group.
Also a merry breed. This is Audra. She's 5 years old from Weatherford, Texas. Loves competing in agility. The weave poles are her favorite obstacle on the agility course.
And here is the Cocker Spaniel, the smallest breed in the sporting group, shown in a few different varieties based on their different color. They were developed from the English Cocker originally, but bred to be this slightly smaller size and have a very different shape to their head. The American Cocker Spaniel has a much more dome-shaped head, used for hunting woodcock and upland birds. And this is the party color. The party color is white in combination with any of the other solid colors.
It was in 1946, by the way, that the Cocker Spaniel and the English Cocker Spaniel were divided into two separate breeds.
And the Clumber Spaniel, I believe, is our final dog here in the sporting group, unless there's somebody else hiding out back there. But this is one of the earliest Spaniel breeds, and were developed in France before making their way to England and becoming prominent there. Known for this very substantial build. They're low set. They work at this very deliberate trot so that the hunter could follow them on foot, and also have this heavy build that allowed them to push through very dense cover that might deter other dogs, Kelly.
Parker finished Group 3 yesterday behind the wire-haired Pointing Griffon, and of course, River the Gordon Setter, the top dog in America that took the group and took best in show. Parker is from Oregon, a multiple group winner.
Our judge, Daniel Dowling, there. He's walking back down the line, thinking through all these sporting dogs that he just judged individually, asking the entire group to go around. Gives him a nice opportunity to get one more look at each of these dogs on the move. Decision time, but it looks like he is going right to River the Gordon Setter there, Kelly, followed by the Weimaraner for second. The German Wired Pointer for third, the English Setter for fourth. So we've got River, the top dog in the country, yesterday's best in show winner, another sporting group win for him. We'll see if he can make it 2 in a row for best in show here. We're going to step aside for our final break and be right back with best in show.
From an entry of 1,296 dogs, we are down to our final 7 as you take a look at our group winners today at the Greater Collin Kennel Club All-Breed Show, part of the Lone Star State Classic. 4th of July weekend tradition here in Dallas. And Bill, it is a star-studded lineup that includes the top 2 dogs in the country.
It does, in addition to several other top dogs, as you've noted along the way, Kelly. We have a beautiful lineup, those 7 group winners, all very worthy contenders, as we welcome them into the ring here for Best in Show. There is our judge for Best in Show, Deborah Thornton. Welcoming in these group winners one at a time, giving them a chance to go around the ring by themselves.
Wager, the Smooth Fox Terrier, the second-ranked dog in the country, and the winner of the Terrier group today. Six of the 7 group winners today finished top 3 in the group yesterday. Rocker, the black and tan Hound, winner of the Hound group, the lone exception.
So she will get started here with the Rottweiler, winner of the working group. This German breed is always this black and tan color pattern, descending from the Roman cattle driving dogs. They are powerful, confident, highly trainable.
Ranger is always shown by breeder owner handler Aaron Foreman. Ranger is the number 1 Rottweiler in the country, the number 3 working dog.
And here is the top dog in the country. Gordon Setter River has had a spectacular year. Ended last year pretty well, too. Was one of the top ranked sporting dogs at the end of 2025. He was number 2 ranked sporting dog by the end of the year. And that included winning the sporting group at the AKC National Championship and going reserve Best in Show in December. And that was his second year winning the sporting group there. And he has really just been unstoppable since December. As you kind of mentioned, Kelly, when we were watching the sporting group, he has quite the lead over the competition. more than double the number of points.
More than double. Yeah. Through the end of May, 77 group wins, 47 best in shows already. Numbers now eclipsed 50.
Yeah, just this year. Yeah, well over 50 career best in shows.
Yeah. Born August 5th, 2019.
And here is the Hound Group winner, the Black and Tan Coon Hound. Rocker here, the Black and Tan Coon Hound won the national specialty last year and this year. And he is ranked among the top hounds in the country. Winner of 5 best in shows in the first 5 months of this year. And here is the herding group winner, the bearded collie. This is James Dean. And Kelly, this is another repeat group winner. James Dean won the group yesterday. Multiple group winner, reserve best in show winner. He's 4 years old. And here is the non-sporting group winner, the Bichon Frise. This little white powder puff here, the 3-year-old Bichon Frise Max from Houston, Texas, with handler Dennis Brown. Max has also won 5 best in shows in the first 5 months of this year. The number 6 ranked non-sporting dog through May. Number 1, Bichon Frise.
And had to beat a couple of Bulldogs in the non-sporting group today. The Frenchie finished second. The Bulldog was third.
And here is Wager, winner of the Terrier group, the top smooth fox terrier and the top terrier in the country, with Amy Rutherford, who's also his breeder and one of his owners.
For the 25 Best in Show titles this year for Wager. Won the Terrier group at
Westminster Kennel Club, and also best bred by exhibitor in show at the AKC National Championship, Kelly.
That's right. Earned an award of merit at Westminster this year as well.
Yeah, great win to win the Terrier group at the Westminster Kennel Club. Huge win. Also has won the national specialty on at least 3 or 4 occasions.
Yep.
An amazing, amazing record as we meet the toy group winner, the English Toy Spaniel. This is the King Charles variety, which refers to the color of the coat color in English Toy Spaniels. The English Toy Spaniels are shown in different varieties based on their coat color, and the black and tan color pattern is the King Charles variety.
Tyrone is 7 years old, from Spring, Texas. One of 3 dogs here in Best in Show that finished Group 2 yesterday. Today, able to advance to Best in Show. A very impressive lineup, Bill.
Very, very impressive. Not only those 2 top dogs in the country, the Gordon Setter and the Smooth Fox Terrier, but all of these dogs, incredible resumes, beautiful, showing great. They look fantastic out there. And our judge, Deborah Thornton, has asked them to just go around one more time again for her. One more look at each of these beautiful dogs making a lap around this nice big ring. And there comes the Gordon Setter, handler Stacy Threlfall. Followed by the Black and Tan Coon Hound, the Hound Group winner. And here's the Herding Group winner, James Dean, the Bearded Collie. And the Bichon Frise Max, the non-sporting group winner. The top terrier in the country, the number 2 dog among all breeds, is Wager here, the Smooth Fox Terrier. And our final dog in Best in Show is the Toy Group winner, and that's the English Toy Spaniel, Tyrone.
More than 75 best in show titles already this year between River and Wager, our top two dogs in the country. Will one of them add one more? Or will it be another one of these champions to claim best in show? It's up to Deborah Thornton to let us know. She'll announce reserve best in show first. Before that, she'll have to sign the book.
One more look down the line at these 7 group winners. And she will go back and mark her judge's book, like you said, Kelly, and make her decision official, both for best in show and for reserve best in show.
Reserve was the PBGV Hemi yesterday. Didn't make it out of the Hound group today. Of course, it's a rocker. Terrier finished group 2 in the Hound group for the second day in a row.
And a good moment to remind everybody that we're going to be back again live tomorrow as well here from Dallas for all 7 groups and best in show. Starts just a little bit after 2 o'clock local time, 3 o'clock on the East Coast.
All right, well, that piece of bookkeeping done. Now it's time to gather the ribbons and make the announcement.
So reserve best in show first. And some kind words to all of these handlers about their 7 beautiful dogs. And reserve best in show tonight in Dallas is the Black and Tan Coon Hound. And best in show is Wager, the Smooth Fox Terrier, the country's top terrier in the country, number 2 dog among all breeds. Kelly taking top honors tonight with Amy Rutherford as breeder and one of his owners. So well deserving for this beautiful Smooth Fox Terrier.
It was group 2 yesterday. It was group 1 today, and it's best in show today, as Wager adds one more best in show title to an illustrious resume. And the battle between the top 2 dogs in the country continues. Fun to see them go head to head today. Hey, maybe we will tomorrow as well. We hope you come back and join us for the Texas Kennel Club All Breed Show from here in Dallas. But that will wrap things up from the Greater Collin Kennel Club All Breed Show. This is part of the Lone Star State Classic, a 4th of July tradition. So glad to have you with us today. For Bill Ellis and our entire AKC.TV crew, I'm Kelly O'Donnell saying so long from Dallas. Reminder, tomorrow, a few minutes after 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock Central Time, we will have the Texas Kennel Club Show. We'll see you then.